Hey, what's going on, Purple People Podcast fans? Welcome to the Purple People Podcast this week. If you can believe it, we're at episode number 307 called The Green Inferno, and we've got a packed house tonight. See, Dorian just jumped in. What's up, Dorian?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
You made it, man. You made it.
Right on time, too.
Yep, just by the skin of my teeth.
We need some entrance music for when Dorian shows up, though, you know, like in the WWE.
You would get like the NWO Wolfpack theme, maybe?
That could work.
Yeah.
That's cool. I also like Rock's Hill theme when he fought Goldberg. Yeah, I love that thing.
Oh, the Hollywood Rock theme? Yeah, that one's pretty good. Pretty solid one.
Dorian's going to make me look up the NWO entrance music. So I'm going to look at that real quick.
Yeah, you should learn how to play that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad, but I think I need like a pedal or something for that. But anyways, let me finish introducing you guys since we're already off the rails 30 seconds in.
Welcome to the Off Topic Podcast.
That's Kyle West, if you guys haven't already seen the show before. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. I'm here.
Look at him in that fancy throne chair. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm kind of jealous of that.
It's my Game of Thrones chair.
You need to be like Dave Grohl and have a bunch of guitar like heads coming out the side of it now.
Oh, it's fucking cool. It's a cool idea.
And of course, Adam Carlson. What's up, dude?
I made it this week. I'm here.
Awesome.
Got a haircut too. The lion's mane's gone. Still got some of this, but that'll go soon.
I like it. Got to trim it up every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
I live vicariously through you. I'm jealous of the beard.
The big red beard.
Oh,
beards are cool. I miss my beard. I so miss my beard. Oh my god.
Yeah, you guys are all clean shaven. It's weird.
I have to. Work calls, and I don't like it. They make me look like a prepubescent boy. Yeah, the top of my hair is silver now and salt and pepper, so it's very confusing. I'm going for that. I'm having an early midlife crisis look. How's it going? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pulling it off.
Thanks. All right, so let's get started with the show. I haven't checked this out yet, but I'm actually gonna click on it right now. The Vikings have redesigned the team's official website, www.vikings.com. Let's check it out. Let's go through here and see if we can't. Let's go through some of the noticeable differences because I haven't seen this yet.
I like it. They've done a better job of highlighting video. And when you click on stories, it'll like direct you to other stories that are similar to it and newer pieces. I think generally it looks better. It looks really pretty good on mobile.
Okay, this is cool. So the top banner, it's skull. It's in white lettering with like a tree line behind it. There's a little yellow line and then a slash with a bunch of purple. That looks to be like Adam Thielen catching the ball, and then maybe that's Latavius Murray running on the other side of it. It's a pretty cool design. This is something that we'll probably have to get cleared if we ever did this, but to do like the screen in thing to show you what we're looking at. I hope that we can do that one day on the show. That would be really awesome. Kind of mirror screen or share what we're talking about. This reminds me, this is just like NFL.com. So the Vikings, which makes a lot of sense because NFL.com promotes every team by their logo. But you have a big article in the middle, something that they want you to see, like their featured article. Some recent stuff on the right-hand side of the top, and then at the bottom they have featured videos. So, yeah, this mirrors and mimics a lot of NFL.com, which is really nice. Makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. It's not quite
I don't like change. Burn it.
It's not quite as nice as the website, I don't think.
That's really funny.
It's not bad.
It's cool. It's nothing too drastic. It's a couple subtle changes, a couple of big things, but nothing too like over the top. So that's pretty nice. Go check out the new Vikings website if you guys get a chance. We'll talk about that a little bit more. While you're on the website, you can look for the latest information coming up. We're kind of in a dead spot right now in the off season, but they give you dates, and we're going to go over some dates like training camp, schedules, a new ticket system. Some of the key dates that we're talking about now will head to you. In just about a month, so about 5 weeks from now, July 24th, rookies will report to camp. 3 days after that, on July 27th, the veterans report to camp. 3 days after that, July 30th, is the first full padded practice. August 4th, we'll have a night practice. And the best one on here, which is going to be great because it's a stacked team now. They used to be the laughing stock of the NFL. Now, August 15th and 16th, the Vikings will host the Jaguars for a joint practice. There is going to be some trash talk in that practice, and I am super pumped to hear about it.
I like
that night practice. Remember, if you're a fan, come up for that night practice. You're going to want to try to get the tickets to that night practice as soon as possible because they're moving to a ticketed system.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier in the year. This is a new thing that they're going to be doing. So you're going to actually have to have a ticket to show up for that. So go to your local ticket website that you like. Go to Vikings.com. They'll have some information. But you'll have to have a way to get in to form the show that you paid to get in. But I want to talk about this joint practice. So we've done this quite a few times. A lot of teams do this. But I feel like this is pretty cool because we actually didn't play the Jaguars last year. We played them the year before where they were still kind of in that like 5-11, 4-12 kind of phase. But they gave us a run for our money because we played in their home stadium. Now, a year later, they find themselves on the opposite side of us in their conference in the championship title game. And there were only 4 different scenarios it could have been, but it could have been the Vikings and the Jaguars in the Super Bowl had we both won, which they both ended up losing in their conference championship. But man, they have put together one hell of a defensive squad. Offense isn't too bad either, minus the quarterback positions. So I'm pretty excited. Jalen Ramsey is one of probably my favorite player there besides Calais Campbell. Jalen's not short on being a man of words. So there'll be a lot of jawing at that practice. I'm sure there'll be a big article about that at some point.
Oh, absolutely. It is really interesting about the Jaguars. 2 teams that were 1 game away from representing their conference in the Super Bowl. And we've talked about their joint practice before and how it's just going to sharpen both teams and just bring out this competitive nature in both. And I think it's going to be great.
Absolutely. I know we have a main topic scheduled, so I'll just get this one out of the way now since I was listening to some podcasts earlier in the week. Like I told you guys, and I'm just talking BS right now for filler because I want to get the correct Vikings podcast. It's the Star Tribune Vikings Access. Listening to the guys, damn it, I can't think of his name. He's always the guy who writes for ESPN. Not Courtney Cronin, but the guy before him who always writes on the Vikings' behalf. It's him. It's a couple other guys. They're talking about stuff they've seen because these reporters that get invited to practices. And this is what concerns me, and I want to talk about this now because we'll take it a little bit of time if we try to talk about it later so it kind of ties into this. But the only thing that's concerning me and the thing that I've heard kind of a repeating trend now is Kirk Cousins flashes at times during camp, but he has these times where he kind of stalls and does some questionable things. Most of the time, the hiccups come in the red zone, which is not a good place to have hiccups. When you're playing against top competition like the Jaguars defense, this is going to cause some troubles because they're pretty damn good. I think they were number 2 last year below the Vikings as far as defensive units as a whole. But I want to talk about that because this is coming straight from the horse's mouth. This is an ESPN representative talking about it on his podcast, and Kirk Cousins having some struggles in the red zone. That's not what I wanted to hear.
No, not at all. Especially $84 million is like, got to get together. But
Kirk Cousins' ups and downs, man, especially on third downs.
That's very true. But I mean, I'm not worried about it. We have plenty of time, obviously, to for practice and OTAs and all that good stuff to get things in order and in motion, and that's what that's for, is to work on those things, to get that better. So, hey, shape up and let's fly right.
That's Ben Gessling, by the way. I wanted to give him credit because I'm sitting there talking and I didn't want to look too much like a rookie there. Ben Gessling. So you guys are seeing his name on a lot of ESPN articles about the Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
He's up there writing in the Twin Cities, writing for the Vikings all the time for the ESPN representative. The thing that I want everybody to understand from my point that I'm trying to bask in, I'm going to tell you straight up, we have a rough schedule. We went over that many times on the show. I don't have to tell you. You can go check it out on the newvikings.com that we just listed. Go check out the schedule. I'm not expecting much more than a 10-6 showing from this team with a new offensive coordinator yet again, and then a new quarterback, and that brutal schedule that we have. 10-6 is perfectly all right with me. That'd be a great winning season for us. And a lot of people are like, man, that's Super Bowl or bust. Look where we were at last year. Yeah, we have a lot of pieces gone from last year too. And Kirk Cousins, as Adam mentioned, one of the downfalls, and he plays great at times, and then he does some questionable things at times. It's up and down. I think this is going to be an adjustment year to figure out exactly what he's very good at and what we shouldn't be doing with him. But I just want to throw that out there. I heard it going to sleep the other night, and I was about to fall asleep, and then I heard Kirk Cousins struggles in the red zone. And I was like, what? I have to bring this up on the show. Damn it. And then started listening, and, there's some throws that he made where he was like, I would probably not do that in a game, but that's what, practice is for. It's like, okay.
Give him a little bit more time to ease into the offense, get to know his players a little more. I mean, it's a new offensive coordinator. It's a new quarterback. I'm not reading too much into it.
Awesome. Adam makes me feel better about it. So we'll move right along. Some more optimism here for the Vikings. Another great one from ESPN. ESPN thinks that Laquan Treadwell will be a surprise standout at training camp. I wish that would say regular season, but maybe he will stand out at training camp. Maybe he'll finally jump into that number 3 role behind Thielen and Diggs. And wouldn't that be something, man? That'd be 2 big bodies and a speedy, flashy guy at your 1-2-3 combo at receiver.
Yeah, a healthy Laquan Treadwell could really be great for this offense. They need someone that can win some more contested passes since they already have 2 great receivers at just those tight window catches. Treadwell could provide another great option in the passing game. And honestly, I don't know if the Vikings need a ton more weapons or where he would sit on the depth chart, even if he were to impress. But the fact is that when Laquan Treadwell goes in there right now, you kind of got to assume it's a blocking down or that he's going to be, playing some sort of blocking role because he didn't get a lot of passes in the past. Now, This could be the year where Laquan Treadwell actually becomes a viable target, where he starts receiving more passes and targets his way. And to be honest, it should happen because I think defenses cue in on stuff like that a little too well.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's some of the things they're going to study when they look at all our tape from last year, and they're going to notice, hey, well, he's not really doing much, which could go to his advantage. Maybe he ends up being a target now that they weren't expecting. And we saw him make 1 or 2 flash plays, the one-handed grab. He makes great blocks. He's a great blocker as a receiver. But, he just hasn't got the chance because we have 2 other guys just snagging all the catches in the world because they were making some crazy good catches last year. And then the tight end is always going to be a security blanket for a quarterback, and we've got a really good top 5 tight end too. So you kind of have to fight for your catches, but I would love to see him come around. And like we talked about before, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns for Laquan Treadwell this year, that's a win. And I know that's underachieving for a first-round pick, but compared to what he has now, I mean, that's fine by me.
Don't forget about Dalvin Cook out of the backfield as well. And even if Laquan Treadwell is to be impressive during training camp, for him to beat out Kendall Wright might be a little bit of a challenge as well.
Correct. Like we keep mentioning every week, 1,000-yard receiver for the Bears last year, their number 1 target. So he's going to have to stand out, get separation, and run those crisp routes to get balls even thrown his way, much less to make sure he catches them. But I have all the faith, man. I hope he succeeds. Like, that's something you'll never hear on this show. We're never just going to dog a player because we just want to just waste our breath. We hope all of our players succeed.
Exactly. He's too talented. Obviously, when they drafted him, he has that potential. It just hasn't been tapped all the way into. So I'm really hoping this season we can open up the playbook for him more, and hopefully he can finally grab that opportunity and show his worth. And could also, that can also go from there, could build up to, for the future, isn't he in his last year of his contract?
He's on year 3, I believe.
Year 3, okay. Well, it's still kind of like show and prove. So it'll be nice for him to emerge, because it will be a benefit for this offense.
Right. And like you're saying, this is year 3. So this is the point where, entering year 4, teams have to make that decision on their first-round draft picks as to whether or not to give them that 5th-year option. Now, at this point, we have to assume that Laquan is going to get that 5th-year option denied and possibly sign back for a lower cost, maybe let go. I don't know. But there has to be that hope that Laquan Treadwell can step up and be just a contributor. He doesn't have to be a star player. He doesn't have to get 600 yards and 8-9 touchdowns. He doesn't have to do all that. This offense does not need him to be that kind of player.
Right. I'm with you. I'm with Adam on that one. And we assume the negatives right now, right? Let's say he underwhelms. He's done what he's done before. We'll let him go most likely. He's going to have that denied. He can go try his chances elsewhere. But the things in his favor, number 1, he's got a new coordinator. Maybe he finds a different way to use him. Maybe there's better plays that he's better at. We have another receiver. We had Jarius Wright leave, who inevitably took that number 3 spot last year. and the years prior. Well, he's gone. So you have another Wright, Kendall Wright, stepping in. Who knows if he's going to adjust well? That gives Laquan another chance. So he's got different variables working in his favor. But it's like Adam said, he doesn't have to be Diggs or Thielen, which is great because we don't need him to be.
And he's finally healthy in the preseason.
Correct. Yeah, I hate to hold that against a guy too, man. If you're playing banged up all the time, it's hard because NFL is so physical every single week. I mean, you can never truly be healthy. This one sparked some controversy between us in the chat, and it's good controversy, but I don't necessarily agree with it. But we'll knock two birds out with one stone with both of these next ones. We're going to talk about defensive end Everson Griffen, listed as CBS Sports list of top players over 30 years old, which that's a cool one.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're one of the top players hitting that super dinosaur age 30, raise your hand if you're 30 in this chat.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, one of the top players over 30, which is awesome. Then he was number 19 on the NFL's top 100 list. Last year he was 92. Shout out to Everson Griffen.
Holy shit.
That's
wow.
That's mad respect right there from your peers. This is a peer-based list. We've already been over this many times. We've had a couple Vikings show up this year. Linval Joseph, Xavier Rhodes, Harrison Smith, Adam Thielen. But, man, I'm going to be honest with you. My initial reaction was I think that's a little high. I think Harrison Smith is the most deserving Viking, seeing as how Pro Football Focus has graded him the highest safety ever in their whole grading system. He's the cornerstone of the defense, and he's kind of overlooked sometimes. But I'm not taking anything away from Everson. He had a fiery start to the year.
Oh, absolutely.
He got injured a little bit. I think he played with a foot injury for the rest of the year, but he still played, didn't let that sideline him, and he still tried to give his effort, which, we all know that guy has a great motor. But for the respect that he got and the attention that he got, I don't know that he'll ever top 19 in his career. I hope he keeps getting better. But this is a pivotal moment for him, and I think that'll boost his confidence. But let's be real. He doesn't need any confidence boosting. He believes in himself.
Yeah.
I always think it's funny looking back to how every Vikings fan that I saw on social media, especially Facebook and Twitter, was so concerned that Everson Griffen wouldn't be able to, hold any kind of candle when Jared Allen left.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, those are big shoes to fill. But Everson Griffen has taken that spot, turned it into his own thing, and he's been able to get consistent pressure on quarterbacks. So you can't be upset with the contract that Everson got because that got blown way out of proportion. And you can't be upset with the production that he's had following a legend in the sport. So
I think what the greatest thing, too, to think about for him is, once you get that big deal, a lot of players kind of peter off. They don't necessarily nosedive, but their production goes down a little bit.
Albert Hainsworth.
Oh, God, let's not even talk about that.
Wow.
Jeez. You went right for the big gun, didn't you?
Yeah,
well, yeah. Go for the next biggest gun out of Denver, then Cleveland, and Houston, and back to Denver. Brock Osweiler pulled the greatest bank heist in history. He got away with robbery, and I'm not even mad at him for it. So whatever. But
Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn got a hell of a.
Yeah, but at least Matt Flynn was good for a game.
And any of those Patriots backup quarterbacks, they've made a lot of money.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
Yang Yalish in the chat says that Adrian Peterson, Jared Allen, and now Everson Griffen are the only Vikings players ever to be listed in the top 20 of those top 100 lists.
Correct.
They weren't doing this when Brett Favre was on the team. I don't remember how long they've been doing it.
No, they started, I believe, in 2011, something like that. So it was right after he left.
Sure.
I actually looked at it the other day. I know Jared Allen's was on there for 2013, and he made the list. It was just fun to reminisce and think about that. But, yeah, for Everson, the great thing about what Adam was saying was he never – when I was talking about the contract years, a lot of players peter off, and they kind of go down a little bit. If anything, Everson's plateaued, but he's already reached, his peak, which is freaking awesome. He's one of the best defensive ends in the league, and he's getting national recognition now. He's getting – all of his peers' recognition. So I didn't necessarily agree with him being over Harrison Smith, but I am not going to take that away from him in any shape. I think it's amazing.
I mean, if you're looking at the list and you're going overall career instead of just last season, I could see maybe why they would want to put him so high at number 19 on the list. I think a lot of players tend to look at this as overall how players have performed in their career, whether or not they've earned what kind of respect they command in the league.
Linval was way too low as well, though, so I don't know.
Yeah. This list is kind of crazy, but I mean, it is what it is. Like I said before, we could go on and on about who should be on, why, what should be the stipulations be, but these are players getting together and their overall consensus being, all right.
Is it weird that I'm a little surprised Anthony Barr didn't make the list after getting so much attention for the Aaron Rodgers hit?
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Adam.
Kendricks, I don't know. Eric Kendricks should be on there. I don't know.
Hey, what do you think, Adam? Are there any Minnesota Vikings on the list of Jericho?
Ooh. I'm sure Brock's on there.
maybe Anthony Barr got on the list of Jericho for hitting that hit on Aaron
I think Roman Reigns is on the list.
Is he on the list? Well, there you go.
Oh my god.
I'm going to do the awkward all because I'm not watching any of that. I do have wrestling to talk about in a little bit, though. You guys will be very happy to hear this. Rick Spielman, since we're doing lists, is listed as the third best general manager per the Sporting News. I thought this was a very, very nice thing to say about Rick Spielman.
Fire Rick Spielman. Oh, wait, he's actually pretty good at his job. Don't
oh,
do
my
that.
God. All the armchair GMs get out here and tell us, we should have kept Case Keenum, and why'd you let Jet go, and blah, blah, blah. And Rick Spielman's like, shut up, I'm getting a quarterback. Shut up, I'm adding a Pro Bowl D tackle. Shut up, I'm going to get all this help and the blah, blah, blah.
I admit I was freaking out a little bit when Tom Johnson was let go. I did not like that.
A little bit. I agree with you, Adam. I agree.
I didn't want Tom Johnson to go either.
But then you come around like Dumb and Dumber, and Rick Spielman totally redeems himself. I was like, what? We got Sheldon Richardson? Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? I was super pumped about that.
Really quick, I want to talk about Tom Johnson really quick. My friend Jeff that I do the movie podcast with is a Seahawks fan, and that's where Tom Johnson went. And like I went over to record, and he's like, and who the hell is Tom Johnson? And why did the Seahawks sign him? And I had to sit him down, and I'm like, Jeff, you will love Tom Johnson. I'm like, just watch. Just watch. He will do really good things for Seattle.
He will.
I'm like, just trust me on this one. I know you've never heard of him, but he'll do good things.
It'd be different if you were expecting an offensive player in Seattle to shine because their offense kind of sucks outside of Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin. But that defense is still, even though they've lost some players, still pretty good. So he'll fit right in. He'll fit right in with that idea and like playing at CenturyLink is so crazy too. They'll have the home field advantage too. Like it was a cool swap. I'm glad we got a better player, but I'm not knocking Tom Johnson by any means because he was a beast for us and he was cheap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now Rick Spielman has missed on some first-round draft picks. There's no denying that. Those should be a little bit more closer to your surefire selections, but he kind of makes up for that by just finding those mid to late round gems that he's been able to translate into starters on the offense and defense. It's pretty crazy.
You miss on Christian Ponder, but you bring me Stephon Diggs.
Cordero Patterson.
Whatever. Cordero I'm fine with that. There was like the third first round pick that we had. They shouldn't trade it up for it, but whatever. He was fine on special teams.
I thought they were trading him for Manti Te'o right there.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That'd have been a 2-for-1 deal.
Digging deep for that one.
Yep, sure am.
Catfish, baby. Catfish.
Speaking of things that didn't work out for the Vikings, former Vikings quarterback Sam Bradford is expected to enter the 2018 season as the Cardinals' starting quarterback. Well, no shit. If you pay him $15 to $20 million,
exactly.
he's going to play week 1. And in the notes here, all right, look, I like Sam Bradford. I love his accuracy.
My note. You got to read my note.
He's got a cannon, and I wish that he didn't have knees made of glass. But Kyle West says he will be injured by week 3 and on IR shortly after. Don't start him in fantasy.
I agree with the don't start him in fantasy. I'm not drafting him.
No, I wouldn't.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
He's not even my backup. I'm not even taking him as a backup.
Are we sure that Sam Bradford and Brock Osweiler don't have the same agent? Because that dude's made a lot of fucking money. And he hasn't done anything worse to the first overall pick. Like, anything worth that.
Let's be real for a minute. If Sam Bradford could stay healthy, he's a hell of a quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
You know who I put Sam Bradford as if he stayed healthy? Matt Ryan or Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
I love him. He's got a great arm, and he's smart. God, how many coordinators did he go through? And he's just like, I'll just throw touchdowns.
And he's accurate as hell, too.
Oh, yeah, man. Accuracy's great, but those freaking knees, man. Ah!
When he was with the Rams, you're right. He had a new offensive coordinator like every season, didn't
And
he?
he had, let's be real, he had Jeff Fisher.
And Jeff Fisher, the ultimate handicap.
He had to play with Jeff. Yeah, he had to play with Mustache Larry that didn't know anything. He's like, whatever. We'll just run the ball every time. I'll figure it out.
Oh, man.
All right, Terrence Newman. Let's talk about Terrence Newman in the next quick hit. He's going to be inducted in Kansas State Athletics Hall of Fame. Raise your hand if you knew before this bullet that Terrence Newman went to Kansas State, because I sure did.
Right here.
I did not.
My buddy Clint lives down in Kansas, and he actually is a couple towns away from where Terrence Newman grew up. So he constantly talks about all these K-State guys and all these small school guys that played around him. So, yeah.
Fun fact. Who else went to Kansas State that played for the Vikings?
Oh,
The one and only Josh Freeman.
Oh,
wow.
No.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
there's
guess
your
he did
knowledge.
technically play for the Vikings, yeah.
Ugh. That's crazy. I didn't peg Terrence as living in Kansas. If that's where he's from, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's a Kansas boy.
I mean, he's played on a lot of good teams and done. God, he's been in the league almost as long as Tom Brady. So that's cool. He's going in somebody's Hall of Fame. He deserves it.
You know who else played football for Kansas State?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't wait for this.
Uncle Rico. If they would have put him in that game, man.
He threw a football over the mountains.
Speaking of Christian Ponder.
Oh, God.
Hey, I don't care what you guys say. He is living the life. Sam Ponder is pregnant again. My man. Way to go, sir. Way to lock it down.
Getting it done.
You can't play football. That's the least that you can do is shack up with your wife, and pumping in the sweating.
So
Take care of that business.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Who's got a closer NFL career and a longer one, Sam Ponder or Christian Ponder? I'll take Sam for 300, please. That's so messed up. I love you, Christian. I'm so jealous. I live vicariously through you. That's too funny. Oh,
I think Katie's gonna get jealous. You better take that back.
Katie hasn't returned my phone calls. I'm moving on. That's not true. I love her. And I'm still waiting for her to bust down my door and want to elope on the spot. If you guys want to do that, we can start some kind of hashtag or a trend to get me and Katie Nolan married. She's already technically spoken to me, so I wish you get this ball rolling.
Get a hashtag
Make it happen
for Katie Nolan as well as a hashtag for Mountain Dew.
Yeah, and Taco Bell. Actually, that's what we'll do. We'll get married in a Taco Bell. We'll drink lots of spiked Mountain Dew, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Done. Found it.
Steak nachos. Yes, I'm there.
All right, I need to shut up. This last one's for me, and I'm going to read this one because this makes me so happy. Brian Robson raised over $30,000 this weekend in the 2018 Reel 'em In fishing tournament, which partnered with Canines for Cops. If you don't know what that is, go check it out. It's really sweet. It hits home to me because I've been a canine handler and an instructor now, combined up for almost 7 years, coming up in the new year. And dogs are amazing. I mean, you guys see mine floating around all the time here at the show.
Yes.
It's my job. I love it. And this is so cool that I get to tie this in with Vikings news with one of my favorite Viking players. And I think Linval Joseph and some other Vikings showed up for it too. I saw it on social media. But
yeah, Randy Moss, Chuck Foreman. Who else was there, Adam? There was one other.
I don't remember.
Chuck Foreman, Randy Moss, and I don't remember. I really don't. Someone cool.
Troy Williamson?
No, not Troy.
No?
Troy Williamson. He probably
Troy Guyon?
His ass probably didn't catch anything.
Oh, wow.
That was savage.
Oh.
So for you guys that don't know, they're Canines for Cops. I'm looking it up right now just to give you guys the backstory. It's see how these highly trained canines are making an impact in your community. A canine can easily pay for itself by taking one big bust off the street. So what's aiming for taking off mostly anything in the civilian law enforcement agency in the U.S. is aiming at the war on drugs, trying to take hard narcotics off the street. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that hits right home for me in the wheelhouse for me. So that's really cool. B-Rob, you're the man, and that's really cool that you kept doing that. I hope, like Jared Allen does the Wounded Warrior stuff outside, and when he got done with the Vikings, he was still doing it. I hope Brian Robinson still continues to do that because that'd be something I would like to actually eventually make it up there and talking about.
They auctioned off the ability to be on the boat with some of these guys when they go fishing. And I think you could, one of the things you could bid on was a spot on the boat where Randy Moss was fishing.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kyle West is like, I'm putting my parents' house up, putting the deed. Let's go.
It went for a pretty penny. I think it was, what, 7,000 someone paid?
I believe that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's over half the value of my truck.
But that's an experience, man. You'll never forget that, going fishing with Randy Moss.
That's cool, man. No, it's a good cause, and Randy likes fishing too. So I mean, he donated his time for a good cause, and he got to do a hobby that he enjoys. That's pretty win situation there.
That's awesome.
It really is.
Yeah.
Straight fishing, homie.
Touche.
And yeah, Adam, like you were saying with the Home for Wounded Warriors thing, I think this is something that Brian is probably going to continue on after he retires, because I heard him talking that this is something that him and his wife started, the Reel 'Em In fishing tournament, and it's like his wife is really big into animals, and so is Brian, and so it's like really a cause that they believe in. So I would imagine that they're going to continue doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I don't see that ending anytime soon.
Yeah.
There's so many great Vikings players that have their charities go on well past their playing years that I'm not going to expect him to continue doing it, but I would definitely be surprised if he stopped.
Yes.
I just remembered something we talked about last week after our show last week before this one that I'd like to throw in. We could do as like a quick hit to kind of get a conversation going, because I don't want to take away talking about Dennis Green. So if you guys remember linebacker Ben Lieber, he made a bold statement last week that I just left me scratching my head.
Oh, no, don't even talk about this.
No, we're going to, because I want people in the chat to hear about this. So apparently Ben Lieber thinks that Mackenzie Alexander is going to get cut this year. And we were just sitting there with the Jackie Chan meme. We're like, what? Why would you think that? Like, Terrence Newman's pretty old, not taking away from how well he's played since he became a Viking, but behind Trey Waynes and the starter Xavier Rhodes, both of those guys starting, that's our depth. It literally starts right there, tied with McKenzie and Terrence. I don't know why he thought that a rookie, and I'm not taking anything away from Mike Hughes, he's a national champ. Hell yeah. The real national champs. But he's, you played football. How would you say something like this? And I thought, I like Ben. I didn't like him in that 2009 Saints game because he was terrible, but like, good Lord. He's been around with the Vikings and he's been in the area and he's been a great media guy for Vikings.com for a while. But we were all baffled that came out of his mouth.
I don't see it. I don't see where this is a possibility. Mike Hughes is going to be at nickel. They're going to want Alexander on the outside where he belongs, and he's going to be taking a majority of the snaps as the primary backup, since they're going to ease Terrence Newman along. Maybe, yes, the Vikings like Holton Hill. They like him a lot. I get it. But they don't like him that much.
It's kind of like the old saying, if you're going to cheat on your girlfriend or boyfriend, you cheat up, you don't cheat down. Who else on the roster with all these rookies or even Terrence Newman, who's going to come in and outplay him? Besides Terrence Newman, who could probably still start over him, maybe, because he might have that extra miracle season left. Nobody else. I guarantee you a rookie's not going to come in and take his spot. And I'm not taking anything away from Mike Hughes because he sounds like a monster in camp. He's had nothing but great praise from Mike Zimmer the whole way through. But I don't know how in the world. He's all but solidified a spot on this team. I'm guaranteeing he's going to make the roster. I can't believe he said that, but I would love to hear what you guys in the chat think. You think Mackenzie Alexander is going to be gone? And if you think so, give us a reason why.
Well, I love Fansided. I love Fansided a lot, and recently they released their list of the veterans that are most likely to get cut, and they listed Trey Waynes for Minnesota.
Get the hell out of here.
That's not going to happen. No.
And they said, they recommended this. If you guys want to write an article about the player that we chose for your team, I'm like, I'm not writing that.
It sounds like they're referencing back to a couple years back, when there were moans and groans with Trey Waynes in terms of his play, and he's not doing anything, he sucks, he's a bust, and it's just like,
I'm gonna give you a recap. I'm gonna give you a 30-second recap of Trey Waynes. Rookie year, we go to the playoffs. Blair Walsh shanks a field goal. He plays his ass off in the biggest game of the season. Beginning of the new year, when we got Sam Bradford in the new stadium, gets picked on the whole game by Aaron Rodgers, wins the freaking game for us on an interception. That is Trey Waynes in a nutshell. Last year, everybody's like, well, he got blown out. Him and Terrence Newman got blown out in the NFC title game. The whole team got blown out. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, it was not Trey Waynes' fault that we lost that game. If you believe that, then stop watching football for a year. Go evaluate your life and learn the game, because that's not true.
I agree with you. I've always been a fan of his, and I've had my patience with him. I mean, every player, is just natural for them to go through growing pains. Nobody ever just comes out of the league, not often, and just year one, I'm just a superstar, crown me.
Especially corners, man.
Corners is such a hard position to play.
Exactly.
I mean, unless you're Deion Sanders, it's really difficult to step on the field as a rookie at the corner position and make that kind of impact. I talk about this all the time. I really think it's the most difficult position to learn because you're running backwards trying to guess where the receiver is going and trying to make a play on the ball. How the hell do you learn those skills?
And you got the rule changes from college as well. I mean, it's not even the same game.
Right.
That was the worst part too. Is people were always complaining in his rookie year about, oh, well, he's got PI calls and blah blah. The same shit with Xavier Rhodes when he was here.
Xavier Rhodes.
You remember Xavier Rhodes and how handsy he was the first 2 years with us?
Hell yeah.
You just have to be patient. Because look what happened to Xavier now. He's what, 5-6 years into his career. He's top 5, at least top 5, maybe top 3. I just pump the brakes on the Trey Wayne hate. I'm glad you didn't write that article, Adam, because I would have went there and got your clicks and everything and be like, boo.
Well, everyone's going to move on to talking about how Mike Hughes is a bust. So that'll ease up a little bit on Trey Waynes.
If you're gonna put your hate on somebody, go talk shit about the kicking competition, or go talk shit about Laquan Treadwell. Give it to somebody who needs it. Don't talk about Trey Waynes.
Yang Yauj in the chat says people from outside don't know Viking football, and you know what? The more I sit here and listen to the national media and other sports outlets, the more I believe that that's absolutely true. That I don't think people watch Vikings games in the media.
Nope.
Or if they do, all they catch is a highlight from a game. And they're like, man, Case Keenum's worth $25 million. And then the next week, he doesn't throw a touchdown. He throws an interception. It was like, well, he's all right. I'm like, no, shut up. watch the whole game. Jesus. I'm with you, man. Yang, you make a great point. If you're not a diehard or a very in-depth, coverage for the Vikings kind of fan, they're not going to know. They're just going to know flashy names. They're going to know we got Kirk Cousins. They're going to know about Thielen and Diggs and Cook. That's probably going to be it. They might be able to name you 2 starters on the defense. Of the #1 defense in football, they might be able to give you 2 people.
And I've seen the 2 Kyles be active lately on Facebook, responding to people on NFL.com posts about their Viking knowledge.
I have no idea and recollection what you're talking about.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I've been sucked in so much the last week. I try to stay away from it, and some people say something so stupid, it's a magnet, and it's like, oh, no, here go my fingers. Blah, 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 blah. You're an idiot. Stop. All right, let's get to the main topic this week, because we want to talk about a Vikings legend.
Topic.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked this, man. It's always good to go and dabble in the past about some stuff. So recently,
our main topic is Roman Reigns beating Jinder Mahal at Money in the Bank, right?
Or we could talk about how bad Ronda Rousey is, and she should leave, because I watched her little stint the other night with Kurt Angle, and it made me cringe. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't watch this.
That's bad.
She's terrible.
Ronda Rousey is yin and yang. It's half and half. She gets it wrestling-wise. She's very impressive. Her promos are just,
brutal.
I'm talking about what I saw in the ring, man.
I'm gonna go on a tangent. I don't want to, but basically they're giving her a script. Okay, memorize these words, and that's how it comes across. You can literally see her thinking about, every word that she's saying, and and I'm going to beat you. Come on, like what the hell? It's just, I don't know. It's just not natural. I mean, that's just wrestling in itself these days when it comes to promos.
Not everyone can be Paul Heyman and go out there with no script and just deliver amazing words.
Right.
Look, I got spoiled, man. I grew up in the pre Found Jesus, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H Degeneration X. So I grew up with that and the actual Stone Cold before he turned into the PG. What? Before that, I got to see the real good stuff. And then I saw Ronda, and I haven't seen her promos. I don't even want to see those. I just saw her in the ring with Kurt Angle and everybody. And It's like, man, someone just move her out for like 2 months. Just practice every day so she could be more crisp. Because everything that I saw was just like, it's like it was bad. It was really, really bad.
WWE as a whole, it fucking sucks. Just be real. It fucking sucks. Like I'm really at the point. Whatever. Hey, put my name in all capitals. It sucks.
But you watched Takeover on Saturday, didn't you?
You know what? I didn't.
Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. Oh my God!
I heard. Pretty much, I'm playing catch up with NXT, so I haven't watched it yet. But I heard they had a hell of a damn match.
Woo!
So I have a question before we hit the Dennis Green stuff. Is this so? You're talking about NXT, right?
Yeah.
That's Triple H's baby, correct?
It is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I shout out to my friend Mike. He's not going to watch this. He loves the Saints and the Seahawks and huge football fan. I know. Well, yeah. Damn it, Mike. You should watch this to be a Vikings fan. He'll never.
Saints and the Seahawks. So he has two teams.
Yeah. Well, I can't say anything. It's kind of like all of us, growing up, we didn't have the Panthers, so we just had to pick around.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But yeah, he's a really smart football guy. He loves, he's very smart about all the information and a lot of the teams. But he was telling me that, explaining it to me because I called him when I saw, what happened. And I was like, dude, Ronda Rousey sucks. And he's like, you need to watch NXT, bro. The WWE is trash. He's like, I was like, why should I watch that? Isn't that an entity? He's like, yeah, but it's Triple H's baby. He's like, he's a mastermind with this stuff. And I was like, this is what all the guys in the podcast are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Gargano Ciampa, man, so good. So good.
Yeah, Ciampa is like one of the legit heels, like actual heat, actual Buddhist man. Actual,
right?
If I could, I would like smack the shit out of you right now. Like,
all right, let's move on to our main topic now. We're getting way too much into wrestling.
Yeah, we started a little late, and then we're already hitting up to the hour now. Shit. All right, so. A couple weeks ago, I got to talk about Bud Grant because he was on national radio shows that I love and talking about that. Now we get to talk about another great Vikings coach. Unfortunately, he's still not – I don't think he's still around, but Dennis Green, former Viking great, he's going to be inducted in the Vikings Ring of Honor. About damn time.
That's happening during halftime of the Buffalo Bill game, correct?
Ooh, is it? I do not know.
So.
I believe that's what I heard.
All right. Yeah, no, I have no idea. This is your guys' bullet and your guys' baby, so I'll let you take that over. But I'll give while you guys look that up, I'll let you guys know. And for those of you in the chat didn't know, I'm looking here and I looked up some of his quotes to make it relevant for what this episode. He was 97 and 62 in his Viking career, and I like this quote from him. It says, "Plan your work and work your plan." This was an oft-repeated message from Green, attesting to his unflinching belief in his system. This is an article on the Star Tribune posted 2 years ago. And I'm looking at his records here, so let's go through this. He had 2 bad seasons with the Vikings, an 8-8 and a 5-10. That was 95 and 2001. 11-5 in his first year, first in the NFC Central, second the next year at 9-7, first again in 94, 10-6. The 8-8 season, which I mentioned, 9-7, 9-7. NFC Central, he was second and fourth, respectively. 98, 99, and 2000. 15-1, first in the NFC Central. 10-6, second in the NFC Central. And 2000, 11-5, again, first in the NFC Central. So, yeah, he did a lot of winning.
Oh, yeah, that team was loaded with talent everywhere, and that includes the coaching staff.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're paying homage to him. Unfortunately, we did lose him 2 years ago, July. It's coming up on 2-year anniversary. 67 due to complications from cardiac arrest. But just the countless number of players that you knew that played with him, they just spoke so highly of him. And how much of a – I mean, from the vibe that I got, I don't know because I didn't play football and I was coached by him, but he seemed like a really good coach's kind of player. Just get the best out of people. And like I said, with that record that I put out to you there, 97 and 62 is not a bad record to have. So almost 100 wins with just one team. And if you add up what he did in Arizona, he got a total of 113 wins as a head coach. So,
well, his team in 98 was unbelievable. 34.8 points per game. Just incredible. You don't see that kind of offense on a regular basis. At the time, that was an NFL record. I think it's been broken since then. But
yeah, Tom Brady broke it. Actually, he broke it with Randy Moss.
That makes sense.
Oh, wow. It's only fitting, right?
That is pretty crazy. Yep. But I can confirm that it is halftime of the game against the Buffalo Bills on September 23rd,
Very nice.
that he will be inducted.
And what was that date again?
September 23rd.
September 23rd. Awesome.
You know, it's a little disappointing they couldn't have done this when Coach Green was still alive. Of course, you know, you can't predict the future. You never know what's going to happen. But I wish he would have been alive to be inducted into the Vikings Ring of Honor. I think that would have been a really cool moment for him. You listen to a lot of the former players talk about just how much they love Denny Green, the person. You know, outside of being a football coach, I think is really important. There's a really good quote from Larry Fitzgerald, who said that he has only had 2 jobs in his life, and he was given both of them by Denny Green. He started out as the Vikings ball boy, and then playing football. So I think that was really, really fun, and a nice quote from that too.
Absolutely.
And plus, Denny Green has probably my second favorite all-time coaching rant. up on the podium. With the Bears are who we thought they were. That is rivaled only by Jim Mora's playoff rant.
Playoffs?
Which is just the single greatest. But Denny Green and, the Bears are who we thought they are. It's worth it for that we get to talk about him again.
Coach is one of the many reasons why I became a Vikings fan myself. He just seemed so cool, and pretty much it showed with the players, like they wanted to play for him, like they would do anything for him, and he just seemed like he was just a real cool individual. So I am happy that they are honoring him. To kind of piggyback off you, Kyle West, I wish that he was here too, to accept this honor. So.
I mean, the Vikings coaching has been such an up and down thing. I mean, for every Leslie Frazier, for every Brad Childress, for every Les Steckel, we get a Bud Grant. We get a Denny Green.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome that now we've got Mike Zimmer, who I think fans generally have that good feeling about, like they did when these other great coaches were around. And I think that these coaches instill a mentality into their players as well as spreads throughout the franchise. And Denny Green himself brought so much to the team that it kind of took on the personality of the franchise. And we saw that spread throughout even the fandom. So I think what he's done is amazing for the franchise. And I think it led to so many Vikings fans being created during that time, with all the talent that got brought in, with the way the franchise was winning, and just the attitude around the franchise, that Dennis Green had so much to do with so much of it.
Yeah. If you ever want to be or need to be motivated for any reason, go on YouTube and just listen to some of the speeches that he would give his players in the locker room. And he was just such, an inspirational coach. You can tell why players respected him and wanted to play for him. Very, very well spoken. I'm a big fan of Denny Green.
I'll give you one right here. This is on that Star Tribune article that I referenced earlier. This is one of the things that I liked about him. Funny guy. Whenever the bad stuff came, he was very brutally honest. But just seeing like how many people he impacted just to be a good person and stuff. This was Denny Green after he lost his job at the Vikings with 1 game left in a disappointing 5-11 season back in 2001. He's quoted as saying, "I'm always going to be on the high road. If you're looking for Denny Green, you want to find out where he is, whether I'm in California, New York, or wherever. Look on the high road. That's where I'll be." Yeah,
that's a good quote.
It is. I don't think anything else could sum him up much better than that. He's a great dude, just a great dude, and This is really, really cool that the Vikings are doing this. It's something I love about this team. They're not afraid to go back and represent people who have done the organization and the community very well. So sad that, like you said, he's not here, but this will be something worth checking out if you're going to go to that Bills game.
Yeah, like you said, I don't the difference between coaches and how players respect them and how players treat them. I don't think I have ever heard Randy Moss in any interview ever speak poorly of Dennis Green. And then you compare that to like the month that he had with Brad Childress, and just absolutely. I mean, how that went down, and it's like and no offense, Brad Childress, but I mean, look at the difference between the coaches and the respect from the players, and how. I mean, Brett Favre fucking hated Brad Childress from the way it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, we got to talk about Brad Childress today.
Yeah.
We got a lot of name drops during this episode that I did not think we'd be squeezing in.
Hey, but real quick, guys, with Denny Green with his last year with the Vikings, do you feel that we should have gotten rid of him? Because I personally, despite the record, I thought that we should have kept him. Like I thought that he should have, stuck around.
I liked Mike Tice. I mean, Mike Tice was cool when he came on, but
ticket scalper.
Yeah, Mike Tice had no discipline over this team either. I thought that they got rid of Denny Green too soon. I think they should have stuck with him longer than what they did.
Right.
Definitely a situation where, with hindsight, I bet you the organization would have made a different decision.
Yeah. I mean, you really look at that, and I think part of the downfall of Mike Tice as a head coach was that he did not have control over this team. It was kind of a inmates run the asylum kind of environment when Mike Tice took over, and that was not the best environment for the players on this team.
No, not at all.
Young Yaj says that had he still been the coach, Love Boat wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Fred Smoot.
Oh, what a team!
There's a name you don't talk about ever. Fucking Fred Smoot. Remember the awesome Lambeau leap that he did?
Is that the one where they threw him back out?
I can't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, you guys got to YouTube that. Like, he did a Lambeau leap and just got totally rejected by the Packer fans. It's pretty good stuff.
Funny stuff. Well, that's all I got for this week. You guys got anything else you want to add?
I had something to throw in at the end once we're done with Vikings talk.
Go for it.
There's nothing else on the show, so I get to tie in a couple of my favorite things here. So randomly, we like to talk on the show about cool stuff. Like we talked about Canines for Cops earlier. Last week we talked about Kyle Rudolph doing cool stuff in the community. So you guys know I like to promote my band down here in El Paso, whatever. If you like Metallica, you can go look up Disposable Ink. Follow us on there. Give us a like, all that stuff. But I'm a big Chris Stapleton fan for country music and blues and rock. And started something not too long ago, and there's a song of his called Outlaw State of Mind. And this is not your typical stuff you hear on the radio now. This isn't your Luke Bryan variety. This is more your 90s country stuff with a lot more soul and a little bit more blues sounding to it, which is why I prefer it. But that song in particular, it's in a great movie called Hell or High Water. I highly suggest you check it out. It's a great Western. It's a modern Western. It's fantastic. But that song plays at the very end when the credits are about to roll. Well, he started a new charitable fund with his wife called Outlaw State of Kind, K-I-N-D. And this is a fund that supports a variety of causes close to their hearts. The notable causes include St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, the Habitat for Humanity, Music Cares Foundation, and the March of Dimes, among others. So I just want to throw that out there if you guys are interested, and maybe you guys like the same. Maybe you guys like the same music I do, or maybe you want to find something to dive into. These are genuine salt of the earth people. I mean, I have it right here. I was playing it before the show started. I met the guy, and he signed my guitar. And he's the nicest guy in the world. Has something cool to support. So I just want to throw it out there because I really enjoy his music. I'm a big fan, and anything to do with like giving back and being kind and being good, I always want to throw it out there.
All right.
Very cool.
Yes, indeed.
I want to say that if any people around the Minneapolis-St. Paul area here are heading to the Hyundai NFL Youth Camp on Saturday, that's being head up by Kyle Rudolph. I will be there around noon, so swing on in, say hi. I'm going to be capturing some video, talking to Kyle Rudolph about the camp and stuff. So, yeah, feel free to come on up and say hi if you're going to be at the camp. Be nice to see you.
That's awesome.
That is real awesome. hopefully you can get some of that footage of you and Kyle on the Purple People podcast.
Look, man, you've already got 2 important Kyles in your life. Don't be getting chummy with Rudolph.
I don't know, man. Do you see that picture of me with him? He's like 5 inches taller than me, man.
I know. Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Jesus.
Okay. Jeez.
It's a big dude.
That picture makes me look small, man.
I guess that's why he plays football. Okay.
Man.
Yeah, I also do want to say that the Viking Age is a great place to check out my articles. Undead Walking, we got a new issue of The Walking Dead coming out in about 2 weeks, and it'll set things up after the New World Order storyline, which is going to be a lot of fun. We got the Season 8 DVD set of The Walking Dead coming out. We're going to have more information about that up on Undead Walking here very shortly. Fear the Walking Dead, we're always wrapping that up, talking about all the great stuff that happened this season, because that was a mind-blowing experience for this season.
I heard an interesting rumor, Adam.
Ooh.
That maybe we may be getting a cameo from Shane in the next season of The Walking Dead, maybe back for an episode.
See, that's one of the things that we don't really do on Undead Walking. We don't like the filming spoilers. We like that viewers can experience that kind of surprise. I hate filming spoilers. I really do. I would have rather watched the episode and saw that, been surprised, but pleasantly surprised by what I saw. And now, when you expect it, and it's kind of like, when you see it, it's like, well, there it is. I'm one of those people. I like the pleasant surprises. I don't want to know what's going to happen.
Sure.
And I hate when media takes a hold of stuff like that. It makes me so sad. I don't like it.
I hear you. Just like the media with wrestling, want to just spoil every doggone thing or whatever. Oh, first reported by... Shut up.
Right? Like when Royal Rumble comes along, they're like, want to know who all the surprise entrants are? No.
No. Keyword, surprise. Ass. Oh my God.
I don't want to know what's going to happen. I want to watch the show and I want them to tell me the story.
Yes.
That's one reason why I like to avoid everything. And one of the main reasons why I avoid watching popular shows until they are usually well done with their TV run.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Because by then people have shut up about it.
Then you piggyback like, oh, okay. That's funny.
Kyle West probably still selling some art, right?
I'm trying to. I don't know how well it's going, but I'm always trying to sell shit.
Hey, I'm going to steal one out of Jimmy Kimmel's book. If you don't buy Kyle West's art right now, this invisible hamster will die.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he will. I'll buy it right now.
Yes, links are down in the description of the video. Otherwise, it's phantasmdigital.com. You can see one of my pieces hanging up behind me right here. Although it's out of focus and blurry because my internet sucks. But
yeah, you can get anything. You can get squirrel pillows, Hulk Hogan shower curtains. Anything. I
can't believe he sold that.
I know, that's one of my favorite things that I've sold. You can get Purple People Podcast t-shirts.
Yes.
Buy the shirt. Yeah.
Buy the shirt. Yes. Buy the shirt.
Anyone else got anything to promote?
I think that's it.
I think that's it too.
Aw. Well, that'll do it for us here at the Purple People Podcast this week. We'll be back next week to talk about more Vikings-related news for the week. Probably some more wrestling and other stuff, too. Who knows? It always squeaks in.
Mostly Katie Nolan. But, yeah, tune in. Check it out.
But I do want to remind everyone to stay classy, Minnesota.